government basically said last Friday to Anthropic they have to shut down Fable 5 because of export control reasons. That no foreign national is allowed to use Fable 5. And that basically means anyone.
What would you... we'll probably talk about a couple of the things here. But without those, what else would you say was good? Anything? Put you on the spot.
No, I mean, it was mostly... Not even mostly. It was all AI driven. Like, I think every single booth that I walked over to basically had AI in some way, shape, or form inside of their marketing materials or just written on their like kind of booth like description. So it like you could not go, I think, more than 5 to 10 seconds without hearing the word AI everywhere.
Welcome to another episode of DevSecOps. I'm your host, Tim and Akash.
And I'm Akash Patel. Welcome to episode 6.
All right, let's dive in. Oh, I was forgetting my beverage of choice this week is the Other West Coast from Escape Brewing Company.
Nice.
This is going to be another Florida brewing company. I think it's pretty local to me as well. Apparently I'm going to start needing to get some reading glasses because I can't see the print on this baby. But I could see some big words that says enjoy or drink, enjoy, escape. So let's see. It is a Indian Pale Ale.
Oh.
I don't know my...
Why do you keep picking up 7? IPAs? You hate IPAs.
I thought it was our theme. I thought we were doing that as the theme. IPAs. I don't like them, but hey.
The idea is to drink whatever you want.
I know. Well,
the idea is to drink different ones.
Different ones every week, and I get you. We got 7.1% though, so that's a different one. No,
yeah,
that's good.
This one I have in the spirit of the World Cup. Literally it's called soccer.
Nice.
So it's an American Golden Ale. Not entirely sure what the heck that means. Oh, it's just a blonde ale. But it's by Radiant Pig, so never had it.
I'm gonna get some. I found a variety pack last week, so I'll switch it up and get something to enjoy. No pickles though. No pickles.
No, never again.
No.
I'll just one time.
My boot today. Drinking out of a boot.
Yeah.
My Cigar International. That's the other thing I should do. We should do an outside episode, and I'll start reviewing some cigars.
Yeah, that'd be good. I do not have any, unfortunately, so yes. Yeah. But I'll stick to the beers.
Oh, this smells delicious. It's the aroma from the boot that you get.
Yep.
Oh, get a little bit of... I got a bad pour again here. I'm terrible at this. Okay. Let's actually jump in now.
Hey, remember the rule, remember?
What's that?
If you have splashback from the boot, you buy in the next round.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. All right. Hopefully no splash. Can't even talk yet. Not even have a beer. Gotta get this foam down some. All right, we're wasting some time. All right, we did miss. I wouldn't say miss. We had a little postpone. We tried to work on our prompts a little bit, and work kind of got in our day jobs get in the way. So this is going to be covering a little bit more. So we got June 5th to June 18th. We've also added some additional like community news and a little bit more some fun reads. So those won't necessarily align with those dates, but the actual news is going to stick with that. So we tried some different, as well as changing up the categories instead of hitting all the tools and then having some of those repeat a little bit. We're trying to just do it from a category approach. So cloud service providers this week, EKS, AKS, and GKE related. Man, if we could do a cut on that, even though we're not going to actually edit that out. GKE, Managed Kubernetes, is converging on Kubernetes 1.36, which we've heard for the last 3 months. We gotcha. But overall, EKS and EKS distro support, AKS 1.36 availability, and then the new JKE release channels. So just overall regulated teams should validate CNI, CSI, policy backup, FIPS. Just sticking with it. I don't see a ton of updates from that standpoint.
What is that?
Good.
Remote MCP servers on GKE. That sounds cool. So Google has built in a Kubernetes native pattern for using GKE autopilot.
You're skipping down on me, sir. You're skipping down
sorry.
on me. I need a taste here. Now that my foam has actually started to go down. Oh, it's actually pretty good.
Nice.
That's the first time I didn't make a weird face over a IPA. Again, touching on the EKS, nothing really too much there. We did look at some of those. Just you click those links as needed, just to get a little bit more in depth on the different clusters. The channel enforcement as well. This was more or less, GKE Google getting rid of some of those or changing how they're doing the releases. What were we saying? So the remote MCP servers on GKE, Google published a Kubernetes native pattern using GKE Autopilot artifact registry, gateway API, managed certificates, and health checks. MCP endpoints should still get workload identity, scope tools, network policy, audit logs, and human approval before they can modify infrastructure. That sounds awesome. That guy.
Nice.
Oh. Build and deploy a remote MCP server to GKE in 30 minutes.
This is just how to deploy an MCP server to GKE. Not that it does anything with MCP capabilities for GKE.
Right. I think it's just telling you the benefits of it. Integrating them in. Okay.
Makes sense. Okay. I thought it was something more than that.
Just more the reason we need to get one of these running.
That's true.
And play around with these.
That's true.
Confidential AI. What's this talking? Google tied confidential computing and its Titanium architecture to protecting sensitive AI execution that is useful for controlled prompts and embeddings, but teams still need to verify region availability. Okay. Data boundaries, key ownership, and whether the exact service is approved for their government workload.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anything confidential AI. That's not too much to dive into. And then Claude Fable 5 across Azure and Google Cloud. Anthropic's model became available through Microsoft Foundry and Google Cloud on June 9th. Model capability is only half the problem, half the platform decision, approved regions, prompt retention, identity, total permission, and audit evidence determine whether it fits regulated environments. I've actually seen a lot of folks removing all that now. Even I think Microsoft even said, at least internal Microsoft had denied anyone using Fable 5. I don't know if that's changed within. I know when it first came out, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well,
everyone had to see what it was, and then like a day or two later, internally, I think both Microsoft and maybe Google had
they had to because of the U.S. mandate that came out. U.S. government basically said last Friday to Anthropic they have to shut down Fable 5 because of export control reasons. That no foreign national is allowed to use Fable 5, and that basically means anyone.
Got it.
So
I think I remember reading that as well. Yeah. So I was looking at it as initially folks were getting blocked by it, but then I guess government came in and said that. I was even reading, there was a podcast saying if you were, it was something like a biochemical engineer or something, they were like, it knew that they were, and it was blocking them completely from running it because of what Fable 5 was doing for such high restrictions, and then saying basically we're going to keep all your chats for 30 days and you cannot stop us.
Yeah. Well, that was always a thing with Fable 5. That was the enterprise agreement that Anthropic said. We have to retain whatever prompt you're doing for, I guess 30 days it was. Just to make sure that you're not kind of disobeying the terms and agreement or acceptable use for that model.
Did you get to play with it at all when it first came out?
I did. I played for a little bit for some of the prompts. I didn't find it to be, at least for the stuff that I was doing, I found it to be just as good as Opus 4.8. So I reverted back to Opus 4.8. Just because Fable 5 was burning twice the amount of tokens, and I was like, I'm not really getting that much value out of it. So let me just go back to a cheaper model that was giving me basically the same results that I was satisfied with.
Okay. All right, you want to take the related news?
Yeah, on the DevOps related news, so Harness CI resource insights. Harness added real-time and historical CPU memory and disk I/O visibility for ephemeral cloud builds on June 17th. That should make out-of-memory failures and machine right-sizing less mysterious, but teams should also watch whether build telemetry contains sensitive command or workload context. That's kind of neat. Okay, so I guess Harness is just becoming the all-around platform for like just infrastructure management as well, from like a node level perspective. Giving you a little bit more insights into, I guess, doing what like Grafana and like kind of Rancher do.
And that makes sense too, because they have their delegate is like, you know, living on, or most likely,
that's like an agent.
It's just kind of multi-purposing it a bit.
Yep,
That's pretty cool.
And then Harness self-managed delivery controls. The June release notes include AWS GovCloud OIDC regional endpoint support. All right, that's always good. Delegate selector tags, pipeline YAML validation APIs, queue management, and safer secret manager testing.
Your audio or your video. Yep. Turn that air conditioner on.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties on DevSecOps podcast.
Yes.
We'll be with you shortly, but we can still hear you though. So
okay,
I would
say I was going to keep continuing on.
All right.
So then the Ansible automation platform 2.7, Red Hat introduced a visual execution environment builder and broader content discovery across GitHub, GitLab, and private automation hubs. On-prem and disconnected teams should pre-approve base images and collections, mirror trusted content, and retain provenance for generated execution environments. So
I haven't really messed with
just
actually I haven't really messed with it in a while. Physical execution environment. Okay.
Visual execution environment builder. All right, so click ops your way through building a environment, kind of nice little pretty
screenshots. Those are a little easier to read. Yes. There's a lot of words on the screen here. Okay. Yeah, to dive into that a little bit more.
For sure.
Using Ansible just to do some automation, but just from the scripting side. Okay.
And then Sonatype IQ server 204, so 204.1 and 204.2 on June 8th or 9th with bounded telemetry, audit, and remediation memory behavior for large workloads. Supply chain policy engines need this kind of operational stability during heavy scans and waiver campaigns, especially when they sit in a release gate. Okay, so just a little bit more auditing, better performance from a memory management perspective. So nothing too crazy. And then what is that Dora's AI delivery reality check? Google Cloud highlighted the learning curve, verification tax, and downstream pipeline bottlenecks that arrive with AI-assisted development. Platform teams should scale tests, reviews, policy checks, and change approvals alongside code generation rather than measuring success by output volume. So just updates to the Dora kind of metric stuff that Google puts out.
Yeah. Let's see if there's anything interesting on that link. Hey, your video's back. Good to see you, sir.
Just need to let the camera cool down a little bit.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Dang it. I owe you a beer, son of a biscuit.
That makes two.
All right. Let's hope.
Don't worry, we'll be catching up on a lot of beers at reInvent.
Oh man, I got the boot. Got me. Well, in my. All right. Anyway, the ROI of AI-assisted software development. Yeah.
Oh, this is a new report I guess they put out because I guess Google puts out every year, right? The Dora report, whatever the heck it's called. So I guess this year they released it now.
Okay, that's actually pretty. We'll kind of throw that in the fun reads. That's not a long read, so just overall
Well, the PDF of it is very long. It's like, I think like 100 pages or something. I forget exactly how much it is, but yeah.
All right. My shirt's all wet. All right. Getting into cybersecurity. GitLab high vulnerabilities. So GitLab released 19.0.2. I won't go through the rest of them. On June 10th to fix CVE 2026-6552. So all four affect 18.10 before 18.10.18. CVE upgrade immediately and plant. Let's just see what the actual... These versions contain important bug and security fixes. Got it. GitLab releases fixes for vulnerabilities and patch release. I just would like to know what we're fixing. All right, so at least some highs. Let's review those. Improper access control issue with group SAML, cross-site scripting issue with analytics dashboard, and denial of service issue with Graph API. Okay. Oh, and then HTML injection issue in certain groups.
Grape API. That says Grape API. I'm pretty sure they meant to say Graph API.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I don't think so. Grape? Yeah.
What is Grape API? Unless that's something. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully it's a typo. All right. Going back. FedRAMP risk-based vulnerability response. So NTC 0014 aligns FedRAMP rules with CISA BOD 26-4 and requires adoption of the VDR and VER rules by December 2026. Providers need prioritization based on exploitability, exposure, KEV status, and automatable attack paths rather than flat monthly scan queue.
What is KEV status again? I forget.
I don't know. See if that jumps out anywhere. That's a lot. KEVs. Remediate KEVs. Known exploited vulnerability. That is what your KEV is, sir. Okay. Back on that. So we're trying to get a little bit more of the NIST, FedRAMP type of news. That always seems to get overlooked in a lot of these. So starting to get some. Our prompts weren't able to crawl all of the NIST sites, so we'll work on some better action there. So hopefully next episode we'll have some more government focused things, as well as documentation. That was one I was starting to crawl. Is the overall DoD published docs. So we could start seeing some of the mandates that are coming down.
Yeah, that'd be nice to get more info on that, especially like some of the states that they release, like on cyber.mil.
Yeah, Eval Stig just came out with a new version too a couple weeks ago, so it's not too new. But that was one I wanted to start covering as well, is just getting some of those in there. Start doing some demos on the skills that we're building around doing some of the Stigs too. So we'll have some demos on that coming up to refine a few more things. But it was actually some pretty good content that it was generating. So I was able to cross sites and crawl some log files so we can build out the evidence for the Stigs. But anyway, going down a rabbit hole there. Nice. FedRAMP Rev 5 transition. So NTC 0013 removes most FedRAMP assigned parameter values and nearly all FedRAMP specific control guidance from consolidated rules for 2026. That creates flexibility, but it also puts more pressure on providers to document actual control behavior, automated evidence, customer responsibilities, and defense security decisions. I'm not going to click on that link. Google's AI threat defense lessons. So Google recommends reducing attack surfaces first, combining expert knowledge with strong testing harnesses, I think that should say that differently, validating findings with multiple models, and centrally tracking remediation. The useful lesson is not autonomous patching by itself. It is autonomous patching with confidence scores, rollout plans, and rollback.
Okay. It's a lot of work.
Cool. Yeah, it was. Okay, so this is really just kind of talking through what you should be doing. That's probably something good for a fun reads as well. Just go through and get an idea. Not even gonna try that word. How about you?
Miasma.
Okay. All right. Harness analyzed a June campaign in which compromised released infrastructure, short-lived OIDC publishing, and valid provenance were used to distribute malicious npm packages and steal cloud, Kubernetes Vault, and CI credentials. Provenance proves where an artifact was built, not that the trusted builder was clean. So teams also need isolated publishers, branch protection, behavior scanning, and rapid token revocation, whatever you want to call that one.
Okay.
I don't know why I keep clicking on all these links. I don't plan on reading any of this stuff on. I was just seeing if there's anything cool that would kind of jump out.
Kind of neat. I'd probably read through this just to see what Harness found. During this. So yeah, kind of cool.
How they got there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So even with the Harness, I know we're gonna be doing a demo with the Harness folks in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. But that was one of the things that they were building out as well, as just an internal agent to go and do a lot of this stuff. So pretty cool. All right. Kubernetes, what do we got?
I'm going to skip the 136 because I'm tired of talking about 136.
It's brand new, isn't it? Good Lord.
I guess they have updated stage settings.
Do not give us anything about Kubernetes 1.36 because I'm done. Right. But anyway, go ahead.
It just basically says they have validated up the FIP settings and STIG overlays. So I guess that's kind of new. SIG storage roadmap. As of June 15th, the SIG storage spotlight covers CSI evolution, snapshots, volume health, data protection, and the group's current priorities. Storage changes carry recovery and evidence risk, so platform teams should test restore paths and driver upgrades with the same care as control plane upgrades. Okay. Is there supposed to be like breaking changes or something? Like why? Or is it just a general best practice? Because yeah, obviously. But
and I was having a hard time with my boot on that one. Sorry. I'm not doing good today.
That's all good. Moving on. Rancher 2.14.3 Alpha Train. Okay, anything kind of new in here? Doesn't look like it. Builds from June 11 to 17 with release candidates, fleet compliance, webhook, and system agent components. So there are lab signals. These are lab signals only. Disconnected environments should mirror images, pin digest, test reconciliation, and rehearse rollback before considering any promotion. I mean, that is obvious. Yeah. You should be doing that for any type of production kind of environments anyway. The big one is the next one. Helm 3 end of life planning. I think they just announced that Helm 3 is going to be EOL sometime this fall, I think. I forget the exact date. Might be like November or October or something. But in lieu of Helm 4, that kind of came out last November at this point. I think the exact time frame, I forget. It was around KubeCon that they announced Helm 4. So I don't know when vendors are actually going to start upgrading to Helm 4, but yeah.
Okay. Have you been using anything? Let's see if they got anything on that.
I have not.
February 2020.
Oh, February 2026.
Final release will be September 26th. And then security patches will continue till 2020. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's not too far.
There's some time.
Yeah, we should start moving. Yeah, November 2025. There you go. You're right. All right. Several improvements over Helm 3 detailed below and is expected to be compatible with majority of existing Helm 3 charts. So we don't have to do
they were talking.
Tell you how to do from Helm 2 to Helm 3.
Yeah, but they were talking about during KubeCon about really trying to make sure that they have backwards compatibility, just because they know how widely used Helm 3 is. So they didn't want to break basically everyone from the get-go.
Gotcha. Okay. Helm turns 10. All right.
What do we have here? GKE Inference Gateway. Oh, nice. Okay. What's this? Google described model-aware routing and prefix caching for LLM serving on GKE. Kubernetes is becoming part of the AI policy plane, so regulated teams need tenant isolation, protected prompt telemetry, controlled accelerator pools, and explicit routing ownership alongside ordinary cluster reliability controls. Okay. I mean, yeah.
I figured out my boot trick too. I was drinking it the wrong way the whole time. I thought I had to have the foot up. You don't do the foot up.
Down.
Foot down. Yeah, and it makes complete sense because of the air.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm gonna have complete distraction on this podcast. By the way,
All right, that's the whole point. You're supposed to be able to drink that and get through this, and then see.
there we go. All right. Industry news. I think we'll skip. We'll do because this is a lot, and I think there's going to be some good stuff here. So, obviously, we had AWS Summit, New York, which you did attend. Probably a. How about instead of let's do a segue. What was your, since it's fresh in your mind, what's a good recap outside of everything AI? What would you? We'll probably talk about a couple other things here, but without those, what else would you say was good? Anything
that
put you on the spot?
No, I mean, it was mostly, not even mostly, it was all AI driven. Like, I think every single booth that I walked over to basically had AI in some way, shape, or form inside of their marketing materials or just written on their, like, kind of booth, like, description.
Mm-hmm.
So, it like, you could not go, I think, more than 5 to 10 seconds without hearing the word AI everywhere. So that was kind of a little off-putting.
I could see that side of it. Is just like, hey, are you guys doing anything innovative, or are you just saying AI, make me a program, or make me a company? Yeah, right. And that's probably what a lot of these things are bootstrapping off of. What I was going to say is, did you get to do any of the sessions? Like, what was the AWS actually presenting?
So I checked out the keynote, and the keynote, I mean, again, that was very much AI driven as well.
Sure.
So I've kind of highlighted some of the biggest announcements out of there. The individual sessions, I did not get a chance to go to all of them. There was one happening with GitLab that I kind of wanted to check out. I just did not get a chance to go to it. But that one was, again, basically a way to use their whole GitLab Duo platform. And yeah, I just kind of want to learn a little bit more about that, but yeah, that was about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to edit this video and I'm going to put a really silly photo of you of a profile because we lost your video again. So I'm absolutely going to find a way to do that. I'm going to spend a little bit more extra time.
This would be the time that it would happen. Like, I have been on meetings.
I've been on meetings with you all day long.
Yeah, and it does not happen.
Never happen. It's after 5. It knows you should step away. You should push the keyboard.
Exactly.
Anyway, in your video absence, I'm going to make this definitely a lot more funnier.
Yeah. As you should.
I will, sir. I will. All right, let's actually get into some of that.
Yeah. Some of the quick highlights from what they announced was continuation of AWS Continuum. Basically adding more security into their Continuum product. So they added the capability for, I think, code vulnerabilities and stuff that you can kind of just get more insights into. So for security remediation and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amazon Quick, I thought was kind of interesting as well. That is basically.
Want to dive in, or is that kind of it from that standpoint?
That was kind of it.
You want to highlight? Okay.
Continuum's been out for a little bit. They're just kind of adding more capabilities to Continuum.
Got it. I haven't played with it at all yet, so okay.
I haven't either, obviously, because it's only available in AWS Commercial, and it's not in Golf Cloud whatsoever right now.
Boo.
Yeah, but AWS Continuum is supposed to be the whole life cycle that they have for remediating securities and guardrails and a bunch of other stuff that you can kind of define yourself. So. The main thing that they kept touching on was the Amazon Quick. It's like a new app or new platform that they've kind of come out with to kind of connect all your desperate kind of data that you may have across like messages from Microsoft Teams, Slack, your email, your VS Code, or even your code repository in GitLab or GitHub, and really aggregating all of that information into like a single place. Or even some of your backend data sets that you may have even in Salesforce. So one of the demos that they showed was someone needed like a report built out from a sales kind of data sets. So they just kind of asked, hey, can you build me out my sales kind of information that I need for this week? And that's pretty much it. They went in through the Teams messages and verified who asked for what information, went to the Outlook emails and got the context out of it, and then connected to the backend database to pull that information out. So it was kind of like a cheeky little demo they did, like pretending that dude was on like vacation or something, and saying, hey, even when I'm on vacation, I can have all this stuff and doing all this in the background. So I'm not the kind of bottleneck kind of thing.
Okay. So it was okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But this is you connecting it to all your local stuff and then having a chat bot in the sense for that.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I would say there's tons of folks that are already doing that, but I guess Amazon's finally, or AWS is finally like, hey, we're gonna build an enterprise ready tool for you. But I think yes, but the issue is this is much easier to consume than say, hey, I got to go out and buy another product.
Exactly.
We have to deploy, we have to manage, we have to connect to everything. Whereas now, hey, you're back. I guess I'll take your photo off at this point in the video. But this is nice because then, you have, and you're taking advantage of all the security that AWS, again, security as,
security and the billing, right?
AWS.
The billing aspect.
Billing's easier because it goes right through your AWS bill. It's easier for you to consume that. Okay, I like it. I like that. Makes sense. Yeah, at first it was like, this isn't new, but it is in a sense from...
It is new for Amazon.
A lot easier to consume. New for Amazon, but makes it easier for customers to consume.
Exactly.
Even from a government standpoint, right? So now, as long as we can get that approved as a service on that side, then we would be able to connect everything securely. And again, security being the first, first and foremost. Nice.
The other thing they kept touching up on was Amazon Kiro, like AWS Kiro, which, to be honest, I don't really know who uses Kiro at this point, now that like Codex and Claude Code are very, very good. But I could see a small little use case for it. So I guess they're still pumping out features for Kiro. They had like whole Southwest CFO kind of come on, or CIO come on board, give like a demo or an quick little presentation on how Southwest is using Kiro to ship code faster and build reliable and secure code faster.
Yeah. Well, I was even talking to actually one of my friends about it, just a local friend, and I mean, he's in the utility space, right? So he works for a large, I don't know, one of the energy companies down here, and they actually, had AWS come in, and they have access to that, and they're starting to build out a lot of their back end, leveraging AI to build like all these, how do we optimize better? I mean, it was pretty wild, some of the stuff that they were talking about. And I hadn't played with Kiro at all yet. So I was like, initially I didn't know what he was talking about. I had to look it up and I was like, oh, okay. This is like anything else. But at first I thought it was like some new model that I had no clue about, but I just was ignorant. To the name.
So I guess there are some people using it out
there. Yeah, no, they invested quite a bit in it, and he was pretty excited about it because they were building all kinds of really interesting stuff, and then getting all their real smart people to take all these like archaic spreadsheets that they used to have and how they would map all these things out, thinking like, they have to be advanced. They're not.
Yeah.
And now they're looking at how do we advance this even more.
Okay.
Pretty neat. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. I don't know. Why use like AWS Kiro versus like, I don't know, like Cursor or something else or
an investment, right? I mean, like they've already invested heavily in the AWS. They've got boatloads of credits in the sense, right? For some of these large corporations.
Yeah.
So now they've got to go out and buy a Cursor or get licenses for Cursor, and no, they don't have to anymore, because the same thing as what we're just
build that walled garden even bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess makes sense.
All right. What else do we have here? You want to do anything with the agent core, or is that what you're kind of?
Oh, that was the other thing too. The Bedrock Agent Core is something that they announced. Basically, letting you build MCP servers much faster, and agents in general to be much faster, and using the latest and greatest Bedrock models. So that was it. Just additional features that they're adding on to Bedrock.
All right. I'll do the agent. I know this was now more back to some of the link stuff. So AWS FinOps agent preview. So AWS introduced an agent for cloud spend analysis and optimization during the episode window. Oh, our episode window. Thanks, prompt. Keep recommendations advisory until budget owners validate business impact and require IAM boundaries and change records before any cost agent can resize stop it. Okay. So just overall building in. I know a lot of the harness stuff had built a lot of that stuff into our infrastructure as code module. So it's cool to see
the whole cloud cost module that they have, right? That one.
Right. Yep. Well, but then they've took their cloud costs and put that into their IAC. So when you would commit Terraform code before you did it, it would walk through and say, hey, you're going to do all this from a security standpoint, but then on top of that, you're going to add an additional $30 or $40. So the code that you introduced, it was given a dollar value against that. So you're going to deploy an EC2 instance that's such and such size. Your infrastructure as code that you're committing is going to cost $30. That was pretty wild. I thought that was neat. So it sounds like cool. That's what AWS is now doing here too. A little bit different, right? I don't think it's on a cloud or on a code commit, but this is just overall.
This is like after the fact that something's been provisioned, and just kind of showing. I think of this more like cube cost kind of approach. The whole FinOps agent. Where it just tells you where you can have some kind of optimizations here and there. Whereas harness is kind of more preventative. It's like, hey, you're about to incur this amount of cost before you even provision it.
Right. Yeah, that I don't know why more folks aren't doing that. That's such a brilliant idea.
I agree.
So we'll have to get them to do a demo on that too. I thought it was really neat. So NVIDIA highlighted Agent Perf as an early benchmark for comparing agentic AI infrastructure. Benchmarks can inform capacity planning, but regulated buyers should also test isolation, failure behavior, observability, power constraints, and repeatability on the workloads they actually operate. I'm not a big Agent Perf guy. I don't know what that is really saying.
Yeah. I have not used Agent Perf or am familiar with it. Okay. Seems like just a benchmarking tool.
You all know now, so we're good. Red Hat published guidance for managing API keys in models as a service environments on June 15th. The practical controls are familiar. Central issuance, narrow scopes, rotation, usage, attribution, secret manager integration, and rapid revocation when an agent or a pipeline is compromised.
I think that's a big one.
Actually sounds really
Is it just
good.
like
Models
guidance or like a policy? Yeah, it looks like they just posted.
Yeah,
this is the default Red Hat blog though, but based on that description, it sounds like it's just a policy that they've kind of updated. Hey,
guidance overall. Yeah. All right. I threw off all models as a service. It sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Digital.gov and Section 508.gov launched a searchable library for federal accessibility guidance on June 10th. DevSecOps teams can turn that guidance into backlog templates, design system checks, automated tests, and release evidence instead of just treating Section 508 as a late manual review. That's actually pretty cool sounding.
That is pretty nice, yeah.
And these are going to probably be default. Does it give us the content library? Okay.
Nice.
Finding the right accessibility guidance just got easier. We're excited to announce the launch of content library.
We do have to do some 508 compliance stuff too, so this is actually really beneficial, especially for people doing federal, even at the state and local level, doing any types of software development for there. I think you have to adhere to some 508 compliance there, so beneficial.
What what is this overall doing?
It's basically providing you a guidance for accessibility. So you have to have certain color, certain contrast, different types of fonts. So
okay.
If you're like hard of reading or you have like sight kind of issues, right? They say use these particular colors, so it's easier for people from an accessibility standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah. This is now
Right,
saying there's a whole
okay.
framework around it rather than just like policy saying do this, do that. This is more like
Right.
this is how you can implement it kind of thing. So I think that's what that post was saying, is that now you can actually generate backlog items out of this and or feed it into like an AI design system that automatically checks for this.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What do we got on time? What are we doing?
40 minutes.
I have my timer up. 40 minutes? We should probably wrap it up a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
We wanted to try to make this simple, but
we run this a little quicker.
Talking. Yeah, and there was a lot more content this week. So yeah, I think community news, a lot of these are Medium articles. I think we could probably lump a few of these into fun reads. Let's just scan, I guess overall. So this one's obviously underrated Kubernetes tools, getting into that, and just, again, Medium articles. So they're just going to list out a lot of the things that you should try. So I would say community news as well as the fun reads, links that you guys should check out, right? Like it's going to be helpful on tools that you may have never even heard of. So underrated Kubernetes tools, there's a handful of them there. The agents, right? So how do we connect some of these Kubernetes or building? Actually, I think this one is building an AI agent for your Kubernetes cluster. That one was actually pretty neat. Clarity is more of the dashboard. So it's one of the, I think that and Headlamp's more of managing clusters, and then Clarity was a new dashboard that's coming out more from a GitOps related perspective. Nice. This one was actually pretty neat just from an EKS. I read through this one a little bit. So EKS cross, AZA cross. So just really understanding that, our best practice is always, hey, multi-AZ, right? We're going to do, most environments are going to have at least 3. So, you would do the 3. Well, what does that do from a cost optimization or cost perspective of things? If you've got pods, nodes in each AZ because you want that failover, now you've got heavy data communication between those pods and services. What is that actually doing to your bill, to your AWS cost or even Azure cost from that standpoint? So that was actually a pretty good read to just understand what's going on. I'm not saying that we would change anything from that standpoint, but maybe you would start doing more on the lines of, affinity, right? So if I know these need to stay, I might, instead of saying affinity in the sense of like, hey, I want to make sure you're across AZ and across different nodes, I might centralize you into a certain node because I know it's going to be data heavy. Yeah. So just a way to, maybe not for some of these smaller environments, or I wouldn't even say smaller, like even our environments in the sense, right, that we're not caring, but some of these massively large environments where there are, hundreds of nodes, those pennies turns into dollars and hundreds of dollars. Maybe not $100 of data costs, but
I think it's also important for people to realize that there's not just an egress fee from AWS, but egress fee from AZ. So that's why it starts becoming a big problem, because anytime you have multi-AZ, there's traffic leaving your AZ, which is where the cost starts adding up.
Almost down. I got a toe left on
nice.
The boot. And we're wrapping up anyway. So OpenBow was really it's basically the Vault alternative. So that's another one to kind of look at. So Vault, HashiCorp Vault, awesome secrets manager, rather expensive. So an it does great things, right? But OpenBow would be your open source alternative to that.
Yep.
AI DevOps MCP servers, again, big topic there. MCP servers, learn them, get into them, start leveraging them. They're going to make your life easier. Management tools, repository. Not seen anything that I was really. Any of these that you want to dive into? Maybe looking at some Some links. I think we're pretty good on those.
Yeah.
Repository worms, and what does this one know? 70 Microsoft repositories being. Let's just look at that daily dev. Read the post. Give the guys
GitHub
credit.
nukes 70 plus Microsoft repos. Breaks CI/CD pipelines following suspected worm infections. That's actually pretty interesting.
Disabled over 70 repositories after they were reportedly compromised by a worm in the latest open source. What worm? Code Jack 73.
Okay. All right. Pretty cool. I would definitely want to read through this later on.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they had anything related to what that was, like the name of anything, but okay.
All right.
Fun tools and reads. Again, a couple Medium articles there. Oh, 10 CLI tools.
This was a good one. I think everyone should really know these tools.
K9s, of course, most do, but
yeah.
Fuzzy Finder. Ooh.
FCF. A lot of these tools are probably not going to be able to install in like regulated environments anyway, but on your personal laptop, yeah, go for it. So these are pretty cool. FCF is just a quick way to search your history if you're like forgetting a command, right? Like you could do a reverse command by Control R and go back to a previous command. Fuzzy Finder gives you a little bit better kind of finding capabilities.
Okay.
But all these should be pretty standard.
Yeah. Oh, that was one you wanted to do, right? So if anyone wants to apply for a job with us, please read this blog. What was it? Don't call yourself a DevOps engineer if you can't answer these questions, right? Yes. I don't know if I want to go through these. I might not be able to answer a few of these. So let's just read.
Yeah. What are some of these?
There's a lot of interviews too. What do you had? Pod running, user seeing 503.
Yeah. There's a lot of times when people just don't know how to do basic pod troubleshooting when we've asked them on interviews. Terraform apply failed halfway. People just not aware on how to troubleshoot Terraform kind of issues as well. So that's another
pipeline passed, but production has old code. What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically saying a successful pipeline doesn't just mean that your code in production is updated. It all depends on how your pipeline is created. So don't assume a successful pipeline means your code is new.
What's the other one? EC2 is unreadable. Docker images 2 gigs.
Yeah, also a lot of times people fail to optimize Docker files, or when asked how you would optimize Docker files in a secure kind of manner, some people tend to really just kind of fall short on that and just give basic answers saying, yeah, don't use root, but there's other things you could do.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of ways too, even grabbing your Docker file and dropping that into AI. Like, how would you optimize this? Because just the way you're doing the different layers and such will... That was one of the things that I had saw. I knew we were originally using vendor images from, basically doing the pulling it in as a layer, but then doing a copy from. Well, the issue with that is when you try to do any later updates, it only seems to do updates, meaning like an app update or anything else from doing a patch on your container image. It doesn't actually patch the layers. I didn't know that. So,
well, you shouldn't be doing an app update later on. You should be building a new container by using a new base image and getting the new binary that way.
Through your Docker file though?
Yeah.
So you're saying you build it and then you pull that in and do an app update to that?
No, I'm saying you just build a whole new Docker file with the updates. So for example, if I'm doing like from UBI 9 v2, and I'm pulling the AWS CLI out of there, that's version, I'm just giving random numbers at this point, but let's say it's AWS CLI version 2.1. I'm not going to update the build container at the final stage. I would update the AWS CLI version in the initial container and then rebuild the entire container. Basically, I would never do a yum update or DNF update or an apt update after the container has been built to update my binaries. You should always rebuild the container so it always has the version that you specified.
Okay, I'll have to maybe do a follow-up on that. I think I was doing some of that, but overall it wasn't grabbing something, so I needed to clean up some of the Docker files that we were doing for our like base images for our runners, right? So I was trying to pack a lot of those instead of it continuously pulling down some, was just building a DevSecOps image that we would put on every runner that had all the major tools that we were using. Not everything, but like AWS CLI, Helm, JQ. I was lumping in things like dependency scanner and Trivy just to keep. Now that image started getting larger, but overall it was I could cache that then across multiple pipelines versus having to pull this little image down, this little image down, this little. So in the long run, I'm doing one larger pool, but then each additional step after that was able to then leverage that same. So then, the first pool was longer, right? But the overall pipeline execution was much smaller because I had everything in there. But maybe we'll bring that up as a you can show me the wrongs in my ways.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just you wouldn't do an apt update after the fact the container's been built. That's it. You just have
I don't think I'm updating it completely. I think there's some vulnerabilities that I would be able to, if I did it, I think I would need to, we'll bring it up. I'll check it out and you could show me how I was doing it wrong. And then I'm fine with tucking my tail and saying, oh man. Let's see. Nothing else on that. I don't think secrets. Yeah, we know secrets are committed to GitHub. Okay, those are some good reads to follow.
Definitely don't commit secrets to GitHub or GitLab or any source code. Always enable secret detection before you push your code up.
Well, this was a neat one too. Well, again, click through stuff you guys can check on. I've got a million tabs open now, so that is it. I think that's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
I'm not going to use the boot anymore, but this episode was brought to you by the other West Coast. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Signing off.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Comments from you? Until next time.
See you. Hopefully we'll be next week instead of 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.